Hello and welcome to the 2021 Michigan State Championships. I'm here with Andrew Marwede as my co-commentator. How you doing, Andrew?
Doing pretty good.
Super excited to have you here. We got an amazing card to start off in our feature round.
Starting off, we actually have Ryan Anderson, local from Bay City, Michigan, rated 986. Definitely a fan favorite here today.
Oh yeah, we have you as well with this awesomely creative intro. Just thought of it on the spot, did you?
Oh yeah.
You won it last year, favorite as well.
Next up, we got Luke Taylor. Last year did not compete, looking to have a good, strong finish this weekend.
Awesome. And we also have Brenden Tetloff, who we saw last year as well, struggled a little bit. That was his return to disc golf, so looking to make a bigger dent this year and starting off with hole one. What do we got here?
Definitely one of the trickier holes to start off with. Only coming in at 269 is a very steep hyzer with this Mando that we're passing through right now. Any shot that saws off left and misses the Mando, there is a drop zone about halfway down the fairway. Definitely is going to be a good birdie to start out with.
Backhand for you, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I just don't really see any kind of forehand play working out. There's just so many trees in the fairway, and they're not really right in the middle, but if you're off by more than 2 feet, any tree can kick you in any which way direction.
Ryan makes the probably safer play to the right side. There is that Mando on the left, which can sneak up on people if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, this one was rock 3, just left a little bit wide. Had the potential to get lucky, but pin high to the right, there's just so many trees that I think that dropped a deep circle 2, maybe circle 3.
Luke also looking like he's taking that line and works out here. He'll be putting.
Yeah, I think he throws like a super old school Discraft mid-range mold. I forget the name of it, but I'm pretty sure I saw him throw that disc a lot this round.
We got Brenden, who is a lefty, so he's going to be throwing forehand here. And it looks like it's low, probably over by where you're at on that right side.
Yeah, just left the Firebird out a little bit too wide, but everyone made the Mando, so par's at worst, I assume.
Yeah, par on this hole is averaging at 0.33 over par. So it looks like that Mando and got a lot of people probably here.
Giving this one a bid from probably 80 or so. Thought it looked pretty good on my hands, but just left it a bit short. We'll have to tap in the par to start off the tournament.
That'd have been a great big putt to start.
I do like the big putts. So.
Yeah.
Brenden going also with about an 80-footer. Also gives it a good run. But yeah, like you said, par honestly not a bad start, especially for the first round of the Michigan State Championships, which is now an A tier this year from last year's B tier.
And this is the same course we started off last year as well, but not the same starting hole.
Correct.
We started on a different hole. So last year you guys were ending on this hole or ending close to this hole.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't remember, but it definitely was not. I think this is the course hole one too, so sets up more fluid. Yeah, so Luke with only birdie on the hole, off to a good start.
Yeah, for sure. We got a couple tap-ins for par here, and off to the races we go. Got hole 2 here. What do we got going on?
So it's a 322-foot hole. The way we're taking is probably the safer route. If you want to get sneaky with a forehand, I can't really see a backhand turnover going through this route, but most people will be going through a skinnier route on the right side, throwing over the out-of-bounds water and hoping to crash in anywhere in this cluster of trees, hoping to get inside the circle here.
Yeah, I was not going to risk the drone over the water.
I don't blame you. Those branches are pretty low. I think Luke's taking this route. You can see he's keeping it under the low ceiling, but leaves it a little bit inside, clips that tree, and that's going to be out of bounds. But there is no drop zone on this hole, so he'll be taking it out where it crossed out of bounds.
Yep, and that's a pond sucked up quite a few discs this tournament, actually. Ryan's looking pretty good. Carries the water, and he's going to be in a great spot. Actually cleared that bench, too, which was, I was on the catch cam here, so luckily to clear that bench, I've seen a couple of people hit that and get stuck in a bad footing.
So got my second run FD here. Trying to go for that straight to hyzer release and just kind of throw it too high. This hole is, I would say, one of the windier parts of the course. Mm-hmm. So, you're blocked in trees right now, so you can't really feel it. But once you get that disc exposed to the wind after you make this initial gap, which we're not doing a great job of doing, but hanging on over the water is definitely risky, but is the play for birdie.
Yeah, the hole did average over par as well, just 0.1 over par, so pretty close to a straight 3. I think a lot of people probably take that right side, and that's how most of those bogeys kind of popped up probably.
Yeah, I just left that one a little bit too nose up, and that I think it was like a right to left, but I just pushed it way left and hit a tree. That'll be a circle 2 putt for par.
Yeah, it kind of came up a little short from that right to left too, probably. AVR 3.
Yeah.
Brenden going with the forehand. I think this is a not a pig, but
AVR X3 maybe?
no, I think it's a gator.
Oh, okay.
It's real stable. He had one last year, and I think it's a little straighter now, beat in.
So this is Luke now for his 3 after the out of bounds stroke, and looks like he's gonna get a little tester, but he should be up and down from there.
And you're absolutely correct. There's a lot of wind right there, and those you can see it kind of on your back and the trees above you. This is not an easy putt, unless you're Andrew Marwede, then it's just routine.
Yeah, I was a little frustrated not to have a birdie look in the first 2 holes, so I knew I needed to make that one to at least stay at par.
Ryan with the only 2 look here, seeing if he can convert it, and he does. A couple more putts here. Luke on a tester here. This is not guaranteed. Congrats to Luke, our current MJ15 world champion.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a huge achievement for Luke, and just based on his play and not his looks, he definitely is playing much higher level than a 15-year-old. That is for sure.
Excited to see him kind of step up and probably start traveling and touring with big names like you in your top 10 finish as well this year in the Pro Tour. Congratulations. It's always good to have you in the booth.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Hole 3 now, 555 feet. What's the danger here, Marwede?
So you got a short-ish pond to clear. Most MPO players should be able to clear that with ease. After that, there's really not too much danger. I think the left side was out of bounds, but you had to really crush it up there. But in the right side baseball fence actually is not out of bounds. So the correction is to, throw it far, turn it over, make sure it finishes to the right, which is what Ryan is doing, making sure he cranks over on this.
This is going.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how fast that went out of his hands. I mean, like, you think that was just an average shot, but that tree is, close to 500 feet out there.
I was going to say that. I think that tree, when I ticked it, was at 492.
Yeah, that was a pump.
And with a headwind as well, that's a good throw for him.
Yeah, I don't know if he noticed that wind or not, but this sure didn't seem like it noticed it. But when I walked up there, I felt the wind, so I made sure to throw that on hyzer, way right, just play it safe. No need to go for the big shot here.
Nice big destroyer.
Yep, nice little 360-foot bomb.
Got Brenden here. He can also throw pretty far. Last year he went for a roller. This is not probably the play for him this time, as he's turned this over. It's got to start hyzering. And doesn't quite make that corner. You can see the yellow painted line. It's pretty close to coming back, but it's going to catch in that corner. Unfortunate for him. I don't know what this is from Luke. I think it's a nuke. Maybe it's a force.
This looks a little bit too high, too much hyzer. Hopefully that gets down.
It's going to trickle its way into OB as well.
That's going to be a tough spot, too, because he's probably got, 10 more feet to the right of trees where he can't really see the basket. So it's going to be interesting to see how he takes this approach. And once again, just leave the nose up, leave it short left. That's what I tend to do sometimes. But just outside circle, maybe, it's a birdie putt.
Nice elevated basket, which is a change from last year, I believe. I don't think it was an elevated basket last year for this hole.
Ooh, almost rang it up. I was surprised to see him not take the his line further back in accordance to the basket to make that angle a little easier on himself. But I think he seemed confident enough in the forehand flex, but just juiced it just a little bit.
Brenden didn't really need to go anywhere. He had a good line on it. A little past the basket. You can see that tree line moving quite a bit. Hopefully he can convert that putt.
Yeah, and this grass was actually surprisingly skippy. I didn't really expect it to be that skippy, but maybe they just cut the grass or something like that. But Ryan has a nice, easy hyzer approach shot to the basket. That should be a birdie.
Yeah, nice reward for mashing that first drive out there.
And I played with Jared Stoll in the practice round, and he got a 2 on this, and I was like, I wasn't even thinking about the possibility of getting a 2 on this hole. So it is possible, though.
Yeah. Jared Stoll's
It's
an arm.
It's different, though.
Good putt from you. Good tester with the wind, too. But you got your first birdie of the round. That feels good, probably.
Yeah, it was a bit windy, elevated basket. There's nothing really stopping it. So You want to make sure at least you hit metal on this scary green.
Too low. Sit down. Should be able to make that putt there. Unable to convert there.
That's going to be a bogey. I think Bogey went out of bounds, didn't he?
Yep, he went OB, so that's next for Bogey. Here's Ryan. Nice easy 3.
He's off to a good start, too. 2 down through 3.
Yep.
You know, that's probably top of the field at this point. Only 3 holes in the tournament, but any momentum is good momentum.
Yeah, we're the second to last card off today, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
There's one card behind you guys. See most information that's out there. Brenden makes his bogey putt. Luke kind of a rocky start there. Had a really good first shot on the hole 1, but kind of had a couple OB strokes that kind of got him on those last 2 holes. And see if he can convert it here on hole 4.
Yeah, we got 290 foot, very almost dogleg to the right here. The common play is going to be almost like a sawed-off forehand. I played this hole so many times, and I always find myself too far. So you really want to make sure to get that disc going right as early as possible. But there is some trouble if you don't get around the corner early right. So it is a very technical shot. You're just hoping to skip down there and get a putt.
And whoever's running the catch cam may not have started the camera yet. So we're just going to have to see where that ended up. Pretty good line there from Ryan.
Now at least the viewers get to see what we're seeing. We get to throw and we just listen to hope not to hear trees.
Yeah, you're just praying not to hear it. And I was actually fortunate enough to be able to play this event. So I was actually to play in the first card in the morning, and then I was able to sprint my way back.
Working man.
Just in time to come filming, which is fine because I get to play it and then see how I should have played it.
Well, this looks a little too wide, but it's coming back nice. Probably won't be a birdie putt, but at least he stays out of the trouble.
Last year, this was an elevated basket with an OB line right behind the basket. I don't think that OB line is there anymore.
Be a little more aggressive on the putt, which Luke is doing.
Yeah.
Gives a good run just behind it. He's going to have to settle with a par in this hole. And this is the common spot where, you know, at least over half of the people are going to be a good forehand. Is just a little bit too wide and lands here. But you can give yourself a nice floaty run.
How stable of a Firebird are you throwing? Your most stable? Or?
On this one, I was looking for a flare skip, but I must have thrown like 10 feet too far.
And the putt was right there.
Yeah, I thought I had that one.
Here's Luke. Back behind there. Yeah, and he converts that par.
And his putt is looking so clean this year.
Yeah.
No wobble, spinny hyzer putt.
He likes to challenge me whenever he sees me now because I won the putting contest last year. And so
I heard that. Yeah.
I'll always challenge. I beat some scrub in the finals. I don't remember.
I heard you beat everyone. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so. But he always likes to challenge me. He tells me every time I see him that I'm not the best putter, and then demands that I putt a couple times with him, and so that he can beat me and make me feel bad about myself. And he does so pretty successfully, just like you do on a regular basis. Hole 5 now, 285 feet. This is one of our tougher holes this year. There's a big change. Island here, bean-shaped island, right? With a drop zone attached to it. What are we thinking here for this?
Yeah, it's definitely more difficult than last year. Last year, just would be a straight putter, and now it's you have to hit this gap and go to the right with OB, and at some points inside the circle. So you really want to make sure you just land in this little peninsula, island, whatever it is, and make sure not to go to the drop zone.
And it was also in the short position last year, so it was really just like a soft putter. Now it's for this shape, you have to really pump a really stable putter or probably fairway drivers just to have the control.
Yeah, and the green's pretty uphill too, so really just want to slam something that's stable and hit the hillside, and you should be good. I think Ryan's going with his Halo Wraith, I believe. I think he thought he sawed it off a little bit too much, but...
And that's close to OB right there.
Yeah, that's probably within a couple feet or so.
So he was very worried about that when he walked up. He's asking me, did I make it or not? And he's just inbounds.
This is one of my bread and butter shots. Just a nice little forehand hyzer with a Firebird. Oh, that's not going to do it.
Dang, just inside there, got caught up. Short OB, you're going to the drop zone there.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with that shot.
Luke here, this is the third or fourth time he's had this disc in his hand. I don't think it's a nuke. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to say it's something different. Maybe a Raptor. It's pretty stable looking.
Good shot with him. Just leaves it inside the circle. Have an uphill putt for his birdie. And
nose up. Whoa.
That's lucky. I promise it was windy, but I also promise that was a bad attempt. As soon as I left my hand, I just saw it floating higher and higher. I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah, Donut and I, whenever we go to the next hole, we always say, take a quick chat, and he said his eyes got real big when that putt went in the air and it got lifted.
Yeah, it was landed right on the OB line. Ryan gives us a little bit too soft of a bid. He'll have to settle for par. He's probably scratched his head on that one.
Everything's a death putt here, though. It's elevated, and if you miss, you're actually going to go 25 feet away, which is in danger of going OB. That's a good putt. Uphill, confident. That looked way better.
Managed to at least save the bogey. Had to start over on the next one. We got Luke here with a birdie putt just off the top.
And it's really hard to see because the OB line is yellow.
Yeah, it's kind of strange for the OB to be yellow, but kind of like on the sides, it's in the circle, and then more short and long, it's just outside the circle. So it's a decent size, but it is, if you make a little mistake, you're going to be giving back a stroke to the course.
Mm-hmm. Definitely play it as the most difficult hole up to this point, as averaging almost a half a stroke over par. In fact, we only had, 3, 6, 9 birdies on the day, so it definitely took its toll on the field.
And you kind of see here with this feature card that I imagine a lot of people were getting, within 20 to 40 feet, but this elevated basket, is, not a crazy windy day, but wind makes a difference on elevated baskets, so it's hard to convert on the birdie.
Mm-hmm.
I got hole 6 here, par 3. I'll say par 3.5, but we got a 400-footer, sharp right turn off the tee pad. You're gonna battle these 2 big trees. Hope you don't kick OB left. The creek has a line all the way down the left side, so it's all OB. Most players are gonna do a forehand or a backhand turnover to kind of get to a nice landing zone, and then a nice short up shot. I really don't think there was too many twos. We'll do no spoilers. We'll see if there was any after we finish this hole, but very tough hole. If you get a 3, you're happy for sure.
Absolutely. And part of the reason this hole is so hard is that tree right there. Dead center of the fairway, literally the line you want to hit, and Brenden smacks the center of it.
Yeah, the tee pad's kind of interesting too because it shoots probably like 90 feet to the left of like where you think you would want to throw off from. So you're kind of going off the corner of this tee pad. Mm-hmm. And I would say you want to aim for just inside of that tree, that one that you were just talking about, because if you go outside and try to get aggressive, any kick is probably going to land you shooting straight left out of bounds for sure.
Luke is the first one to get past that. That's a pretty ideal landing zone, I would say.
I'd say almost perfect. I would take that 100 times out of 100.
Another Firebird from you, I'm assuming. On there, you can see your approach there. You had to kind of attack that corner awkwardly.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Sit down.
Just curls in front of the out of bounds. It's kind of the, I bet you more people than I hit that tree. It's kind of the one you aim for. We got this nice tricky forehand flex approach.
How far away are you, do you think, right now?
I think it was just inside 300. Probably like 270, but
that's a great upshot.
I was very relieved to see that flex back, because if that doesn't come back, that's out of bounds and a tough putt. So should be able to clean up the 3 from there. I got Brenden probably going with like a flip up sidearm.
This is a tough spot for him to throw sidearm, right?
Yeah, it was. It looks like that big tree was kind of in his way for a turnover, so he's probably trying to do a flip up, just kind of held onto it a little too long.
Ryan's trying to do the same thing as you do. Caught some foliage, but spit through.
Yeah, it's a tough hole. Like, I would say even if it was a par 4, it probably plays pretty close to par. So I'm kind of interested to see what the stats were on this one. But
you are correct. It played as 4.08. So
pretty close.
According to par, it's the most difficult hole. But I would agree. I think this is much more of a 3.5 than it is a true 3. Brenden a little deep there. He's gonna have a tester on his way back. There in his basket. Again, another hole that's been changed from last year. It used to be a par 5 up in that corner, or par 4. And
I can't remember the par, but I think I do like the change, just because the other basket was kind of like on a hill, a bunch of like overgrown limbs and stuff. So this is more in the open and favorable. If you have a good shot, you'll get a good score.
And speaking of your comment earlier, there was one birdie today, and it was by Josh Taylor.
Was it really? Wow.
And he made it from about 300 feet.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which Jeff Bennett told me about after the round. He's just like, he's 300 feet away and just throws in a nice little birdie. I'm like, I was
going to say, I can't see Josh Taylor doing like a driver turnover to go for the 2, so.
Yeah, he's too smart to go for that
right,
to begin with.
He's too good of a player to try that.
So but he is a good enough player to bang it from 300 feet apparently. So
Good for him. Good job.
it worked out. Yeah, he is the only birdie on the day. Most people had said this hole was quite difficult.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna walk away with 3 pars and a bogey.
Yeah, 1 bogey.
Oh no, 2 bogeys.
Oh yeah, right. 2. Brenden and Ryan there can catch up on you quick. Hole 7 now. What do we got going on here?
Nice little shorter par 3, only 230 feet. I'd say it plays a little bit further just because you got to throw over this little mound right here. Most people are going to go backhand through this gap where the drone is going, and you want to barely hyzer just in front of those trees on the right. But small green, as you can tell, only about 15-ish feet on either side and deep. So you can be in the circle with a tricky putt for sure. Looks like Luke is going with, I think that was a mid-range.
I think it's a roach.
Oh, it was a putter, wow.
I could be wrong on that. He loves to throw his roach, which is also green. But it could have been a mid-range as well. But he's gonna hit those 2 guardian trees and kick left.
This is not a putter. This is a fairway driver. I just tried to throw it straight. And
really?
Yeah, I kind of got lucky through that middle gap.
Split the
It is lucky for sure, but I see a lot of people try to go for that right gap that end up splitting that kind of V tree right there. And Brenden goes for that forehand flex and just leaves it a little flat. He might have a look, being a lefty, he can stretch out, but it'll be a longer circle too for sure.
Definitely a tougher hole than it looks too, because you can find yourself missing that gap really quickly. This is looking like it's going right at that tree.
Yeah, he knew it. Yeah, it looks small on camera, but it's smaller in person for sure.
Congrats to Ian Hamilton, who aced hole 7 today.
My bet is he threw rock 3. Yeah.
One of his 6 rocks that he bags, something like that. He probably doesn't bag that many.
My guess is 4, which is still a good amount.
Yeah, it's about as many Firebirds as half is what you bag. Right. A couple of upshots there. Ryan and Luke just getting it close to the basket. Oh, you're right. He's gonna have a stretch out putt here. Looked like a good line, but just a touch too high there. He's gonna be on the back hill, but 10 feet away, easy.
Kind of got pretty nice, fortunate little window here for a straddle putt from about 25. I was happy to see that one fall. It's kind of one where, like, I don't know if you want to say you want to expect a birdie on this hole, but if you don't get a birdie on this hole, you're kind of like, feeling like you lost one for sure.
Averaged at just about a quarter of a stroke under par, even with the ace. So a lot of people took away a 3 here, not able to probably clear that gap, leaving themselves with some tough putts. But you're able to walk away, get a stroke on the card here, and put you back in the negative, which is always a good feeling on the front 9.
Yeah, this front 9 of this course is, you can birdie a lot of these holes, but you can get in trouble so easily. Just as you walk up here to hole 8, only a 259-foot hole, but as you can see, a lot of trees. Some people will be doing backhand turnover low, maybe backhand turnover over all the branches. I see a lot of people going spike hyzer up and over, but with this green, huge hill, a lot of danger, roll away opportunities. I wish I could tell you there was a perfect line, but people are just going to try to throw whatever they're most confident in and try to get a putt.
Another Firebird from you. It looks like you're going up and over.
Yeah, I'm throwing my Firebird here. I'm trying to throw it as hard as I can. I just threw it just a tad bit too low. Hits like the top of the tree and unfortunately shoots straight down. I think Luke's going same play here with the distance driver though.
Oh, and almost gets through. And it's going to be a little short. He's going to have an obstructed putt, but maybe just outside circle?
Yeah, at least he bounced forward and is able to actually get a clean look at it. And looks like probably most of this car is going to try that over the top play.
Brenden to the left, he probably have an advantage there. And a little roll backwards, which is what you don't want. He's going to see the basket at least.
Yeah, if these trees were somehow maybe 10, 15 feet smaller, I can see it being much more of a line. It's just with, once again, the tee pad, I feel like it's just not quite pointed in the right direction. So it's difficult run up and just an awkward shot. And
oh my.
Like I said, another roll away. Just going to hit that hill and roll back every time, but we'll have an obstructed putt.
And that's the only one that was able to clear it. Big putt from you. Tink. Just short.
Yeah, good line, but 90-foot uphiller. Hard to get the distance commitment on that one.
Brenden trying as well. Cash.
So pretty.
That's a fantastic putt. That's going to be our first crew view of the day. Well earned by Brenden there.
I mean, that was a good 60-foot or two uphill, and it just like nestles so soft and so smooth right in the center. Never had a chance of spitting out.
Great putt from Brenden. Got Luke here. Doesn't want to get big putted. He's around the corner here. Cash.
Couple of big putts on this hole. It's not really a hole you're gonna expect to like make a whole lot of circle 2 putts on it. So back to back circle 2 putts, fantastic.
Ryan, a little bit unlucky. Has a small window to go uphill. Also, just barely misses the basket there. All 4 of you really gave some great bids there. That'd have been one sick star frame if you'd all been able to pull that off.
2 birdies, 2 pars. Honestly, pretty good result for a card on this hole.
Especially for a hole that averages over par.
Right.
Not by much, 0.07, so it's almost exactly par, but for the card to get neck 2 was above the average for sure.
Yeah, you can just see how thick these trees are, so bogey potential for sure.
Talking about tough holes, here's another one for us on hole 9 here, 269 feet. This one does not have the basket in the tree anymore, so they brought the basket down by the tree, so you're not putting, 18 feet up in the air. So you guys are going to be just still a hyzer look into that first gap. If you can penetrate and get a putt at it, I think that's ideal, but it's a pretty tough gap to hit.
And I was kind of sad too that it wasn't in the tree anymore, because I don't want to diss the course, but this is definitely one of the flukier holes on the course. So with it being in the tree, I mean, this hole's so hard to get a birdie on. So when the basket's that high up in the tree, it almost plays like a par 4. So if you have a good shot like these 2 first guys did, hit a tree, it's almost like an up shot and then a good putt for a birdie, you know. So, but I don't expect too many birdies on this hole. I would say a worse shot gets luckier better or more often on this hole than a good shot.
First drives are out there. Ryan going with the forehand here.
Not going to question the local. He definitely has played this course a fair share amount of time, so he knows what works, and that seemed to have worked.
Yep. Definitely is out a little ahead of all you guys and has a lane, little upshot there.
You're going to take that, though.
Brenden got in a bad spot here, and he's going to take a Willie Prince line. Boom.
I was so surprised when I saw him line this up, but it almost worked. I think it hit like one of the last little branches to keep him outside the circle, but that might be too tough of a putt to try to make that. I'm not really sure where that landed, but at least a good effort.
I was on the catch cam there, and I was hearing some cracking in the air, not realizing that was Brendan's disc. So when it landed, I was turning over real quick. I was like, dang, but he's going to be a bit far away. Luke there hit an early tree. He's going to have a long putt for his par. Is that a Firebird in your hand?
Yeah, from like 100 feet out, just trying to flex it right in front of that tree, but
Stop. Okay, thank you.
It's just like the common spot when you have a good shot is hitting those trees and landing right where me and Luke did, and the approach to the green is just so interesting to try to maneuver a good upshot to it. It's tricky, but Ryan playing it smart, giving it a half bid, gonna have a tap in par, and that's gonna be good.
You're right, Brenden, not in the ideal position here. He's gonna have to go with a forehand flick. And he looks like he's just laying up, taking his medicine, and saying, I'm just gonna get off the hole.
Yeah, it's not too much of a scary run, but if you do go too far past it, there's kind of like a little mound. So, if you sail it and go circle's edge deep, it's going to be like a trickier putt. That kind of stayed on top of the mound, but there's like a big branch and stuff, so can't be too aggressive on this hole. But Luke is definitely going to be aggressive in this putt, trying to save his par.
Just off on the top. I don't even know if you can call it a band, but he hit the band.
So it looks like we're only going to have probably, don't try to watch me try to move that tree.
You're trying to move a log. You did it last year too. I still have a video in case you're wondering. Just message me and I'll share that with everyone.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have 3 bogeys on this hole and only 1 par.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan's going to, as long as he taps in this par, and he's going to take a stroke on everyone. Hole played as .53 over par. There were a total of 4 birdies on the day from Mark Nosek, Matthew Murdoch, Thomas Cup, and Willie Prince. So congratulations to those guys. Definitely played as a... Ooh.
It was close.
I did not remember that.
Yeah, and as you can see from the scorecard from these players, a few birdies, a few bogeys from pretty much everyone. No one really staying clean. no one really, getting too aggressive and popping off, but also, everyone has their fair share amount of birdies, all about even par-ish. So not quite out of it yet. We'll hopefully have a nice back nine to spark things up and get back on track here.
Yeah, definitely not the start you guys wanted, but still plenty of disc golf left to play. Thanks to our Patreon supporters, as always, for helping us to continue to give more disc golf coverage, and we'll see you guys on the back nine.